Good afternoon and welcome back, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to the San Dimas Wine Shop and Tasting Room tasting for the week. And we've got some really nice wines, really nice wines that we've picked out for you this week. Let's go ahead and get started. Start out with that Rayburn Chardonnay. For you folks that are really into toasty Chardonnays, this is a great way to go. A lot of bang for your buck on this wine. This 2013 Russian River Valley Chardonnay. 75% new French oak, 75% French, American, and Hungarian, all new barrels. It goes through 75% malolactic fermentation, ML, and then it goes through 6 months of Surly. Now, for those of you, just a reminder on Surly, just means that it goes on that, on the spent yeast cells. When those yeast cells drop down to the bottom, the wine just sits on top of it, and what it does over time is it creates this little bit of a creaminess, of a texture to it. So that's what this wine is about. If like I said, if you're into toasty Chardonnays, this is definitely the way to go. Then we're going to go right over here to the Jackhammer. This is the Jackhammer 2013 Pinot Noir. This is their Central Coast. This is their Central Coast effort, and the majority of the fruit comes from San Luis Obispo and San Lucia Highlands, but also some of it comes from Monterey, as well as from Santa Barbara, but a very small portion of it. 14 days on the skins, which is a pretty average maceration. That's just in order to extract the color. It's a 7-day cold soak, and the reason why they're doing a cold soak is just to try and extract a lot of those fruit characteristics out of the wine. And then it also goes through a 7-day fermentation. All done in neutral oak barrels. And if you like wines that, well, actually for Pinot Noir, this one's got a lot of raspberry and earthy notes like wet mushrooms, which would be pretty classic of Pinot Noir. But I think with this wine, once again, at the price that it comes in, it's really hard to beat this quality Pinot Noir at that price. It's considerably under $20. Then we go with the Tolosa. The Tolosa, Stacy, this one's for you. This is one of your favorite wines. We've got the 2011. This is the Tolosa Syrah that comes out of Paso Robles. It's 95% Syrah, 5% Sangiovese. 21 months in neutral oak. And the reason why they do it, it's a long oak period, but it's done on neutral oak because what they're really trying to do is really not impart a lot of oak flavors, but at the same time give the wine a lot of soft characteristics, which they've definitely achieved in doing so. But you know, peppery, tobacco. It's got a lot of fresh cherries to it. I really like the way this is made. Then we go over to the Otoñon. The Otoñon's a Spanish wine. This is a 2011 Crianza. Crianza Rioja, which, just a reminder what Crianza means. Crianza just means that the minimum oak that it needs to be is 1 year, and the minimum in the bottle for an additional year before it can be released. To put that in perspective, like let's say if you were to go with the Grand Reserve, it would be a minimum of 2 years on oak, which they're oftentimes more than that, and then a minimum of 3 years in the bottle before it's released. So, big grippy wine, a lot grippier than I thought it was going to be. I really like it. I think it would go great with so many foods. But it's 90% Tempranillo. It does have 10% Garnacha in it, and 20-day maceration, which is, you know, a little bit longer maceration. In other words, it's sitting on the skins for a little bit longer, but you'll notice that when you pour it out, it definitely has more of a pretty dark characteristic, especially for a Crianza. What I like also about this wine is, you know, you're getting 40-year-old wines, which, you know, as the vines get older, they produce less fruit, and as a result of producing less fruit, the wine that's made out of those grapes is a lot more intense. It has a lot more intense, and it has a lot more character to it. But you know, this is herbaceous. It's got some cola notes, some vanilla notes, and also, once again, some nice bright cherries. Then we go over to Mendoza, Argentina, the Familia Bianchi. What this is this is the 2011 Malbec out of Mendoza, Argentina, 100% Malbec, 3-week maceration. Now that's once again getting into a longer period of time. But when you pour this out, I mean, it looks like ink. It is dark purple ruby. Okay, it's not as purple as a lot of Malbecs that we try here and there, like let's say out of Livermore. 12 months on a combination of French American oak, big, ripe, stone fruit, chocolate, coffee, but the tannins are really nice and silky. It's not grippy at all, but another real good effort out of this family. Then we're going to finish up with the Amizetta. The Amizetta is the 2010 Cabernet Sauvignon out of Napa Valley, specifically out of St. Helena. Big grippy tannins. It spends, I believe, a minimum of 2 years on oak, and a portion of those barrels are new. It's got a good generous, there's a lot of generous oak in this wine. So I think when I just tried it just a few minutes ago, and what it definitely reminds me of is that that liqueur called creme de cassis. It definitely has a lot of those flavors in there. It has some earthiness to it, which I guess would be pretty classic of a lot of St. Helena Cabernet. But just a really nice wine that drinks really high end. So I hope you enjoyed the tasting for this week. We'll keep you posted on the classes that are coming up. And thank you all for tuning in. Cheers.